Peacock bass are one of my absolute favorite fish to catch. We're pretty lucky here in Florida to have access to these fish, despite the fact that they're from the Amazon. They'll eat pretty much anything, they look super cool. So, if you want to learn how to tie a fly that's going to crush these guys, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how to do that. This is what you're going to need to tie the Peacock Bass Crusher. I like these Gamakatsu hooks. You need some chartreuse EP brush, some chartreuse craft fur, some flash, a little orange, red dumbbell eyes, some head cement. Pretty simple stuff. Let's get into it. So as you can see, we have our thread dam already done. We have our bobbin here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to tie in our eyes. Now, I've caught peacocks on yellow eyes. I don't know if the eyes matter that much, but I know I've caught a lot of peacocks that seem to have red eyes. And that's a key, is that these guys tend to eat each other. So that's kind of what we're going to do here today, is build a baby peacock fly. So what we're going to do is get started on our eyes with our X wraps. You see, kind of going back and forth. Make sure your eyes are straight, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Topical Ray Allen reference. Make sure you're keeping it straight. Pull your shorts out and place this right back here. If this looks like not a lot, it's because it is. Don't worry, we're going to be adding a lot more material. So trim that, finish tying this in, and as a way to prevent the hook from fouling, even at the early stages, I'll go right behind it like that. All right, wonderful. There's our first layer. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna add a little orange. Remember, we're going to trim all of this. It might look long now, but we're going to make this nice and pretty. Just gently lay it on and tie that on. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add another layer of our chartreuse craft fur. Pull out the shorts, lay that down. Add a few wraps behind the material. Come back on this side and let's cut this part. Excellent. So we're looking good. We're looking good. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some of this golden flash. Remember, peacock bass, like the dumbest, most obnoxious flies ever. Although at the same time, I've also caught them on white clousers. So take that as what it is. Just pull out that much because remember, we're going to cut this anyway. And we're going to tie that in. Just like the rest of it. Make sure we cut that off. You're seeing a pattern of what's going to come next. That's right. More chartreuse. As you can see, we have quite a little minnow going here. But we still need to build just a little more. So back to the orange. And cut this much. Finally, we're going to add our last bit of craft fur to this before we really start to build the body out. Take your EP brush. You're going to pull one of these bad boys out. You'll notice there's a wire sticking out. That's what you're going to use to tie in this fly. You use this wire to attach it. So, hold it on there and wrap around just so it gets initially attached. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start making wraps with your material and kind of use your fingers to pull. Make sure you move your thread back to the front here to pull this back, because you want it to slim out when it's in the water, and you want to make sure you do this evenly. You're building out the body. You want to make sure that it's still even. And in doing so, you build out the body of your fly. Now you take your line, as you can see here, and basically you're going to cut this off. You're going to cut off your EP brush. And take your scissors and literally cut it off, and take your thread and tie that on good like that. So what you should be left with is something that looks like this. You've got a defined, built out body and head with a tail. And what you're going to do here, tweezers. You use these tweezers to pull this out. Like that. It should look like a lion's mane. Remember, this is all going to flatten out in the water. Turn it if you have to. Turn the fly. So you can better manipulate this. Now, to finish, we go back in with our scissors and we're going to cut the tail a little bit. We're just going to shorten the tail. You don't want to go at it like this. Don't do that. You just sort of kind of come at it like that. Just trying to shorten it up a little bit. And you're going to do the same thing with this lion's mane you've got here. It's just a little bit long, as it should be at this point, but you want to trim that. You want to make it just a little bit shorter. Turn this if you have to. Trim that down so it's less wild, more controlled. Remember, pull it back. You just want to see what that's going to look like. See, that's looking good. That's looking like a baby peacock bass. Because that's the thing about these guys, is they eat each other. It's never too late to add an extra wrap back there. Add some wraps behind the head where you initially attach the body. And that's pretty much it. I mean, a little trimming, got some extra long hairs. Trim those back, but that's basically it, guys. It's pretty simple, pretty easy tie. Now what we have left here is to do the head. Now, some people like to use a whip finish. I do not, because I'm stupid and don't know how to use a whip finish properly. I use my fingers. So you're going to pull out your thread, take 2 fingers, and do 3 circles around. You see that? Pull a bunch of thread out. Pull a bunch of thread out and go 1, 2, 3. So you have it on your fingers. And put it up right in the eye of the hook. Oh, messed that one up. You're basically putting this over the eye of the hook, tightening it down. I like to do 3 of these. So that's 2, 1, 2, 3 wraps around, right on the, oh, messed that one up, 1, 2, 3, right around the eye of the hook. Pull that tight. There you go. Break it off. And now, to finish it, you take your head cement. Let's just trim this real quick. You need very little for this. Try not to get it on the body or in the eyelet of the hook. Just right between the eyes and all those X wraps. Right on that thread, on the top and the bottom. So you can see where I'm doing it right here. Just like that. Just like that. There you have it. You'll let that dry overnight. And that's the Peacock Bass Destroyer right there, folks. That is a fly that will catch peacock bass from Palm Beach to Miami to the Amazon. I guarantee you that. You want proof? Read the blog. That's in the pinned comment below. You'll see. Take it easy, guys.